Hello everyone. So today we'll be going to see this do return method in Mockito example. Okay. So the do return method in Mockito is used when you want to mock a method that is already called in a final private or a spy object to avoid the unwanted method execution. So when to use this do return instead of when? Use when then return when mocking a normal method call. Use do return after that when dealing with the spies, that is partial mock object. To avoid the unwanted method execution during the testing, mocking the final or private method indirectly. So let's see an example. By example, we'll get the understanding. Now, I have already created one model that is employee, which is having the ID and name, yeah, having the get run, set run, this constructor. There is one service, employee service I have created, annotated at that service, where I have created one method which task is to give the employee by using the ID, and I have also printed this method like statement inside this method to check whether this is getting executed or not, this method. Then in SRC test Java there will be one class I have created test to test this. Now let's go ahead and here create employee service test, employee service, control shift O for importing. Now we'll be using here a spy. So now next thing is, so spy is for the partial mocking. Now to initialize mock, this will need to use Mockito annotation dot open mocks. Okay. Now it's time to test this method. Yeah. So arrange, we have to use the do return to avoid calling the actual method. Then we'll be using here a do return new employee with the ID 1 with the name Sam. Okay. When employee service method get employee by ID will be called in that case. Arrange then act employee emp equals to, okay, employee emp equals to employee service dot get employee by ID. The ID would be 1. Okay. This is the act, arrange, act and assert. Assert not null. Emp should not be null. Assert equal emp dot get id should be equal to 1. Assert equals employee dot get name should be equal to Sam. Let me do this. All right, now if I run this, it should be executed. Even we partially mock it, we are avoiding calling the actual method. But instead of this to return, what I'll do, when employee service dot get employee by ID by 1, then return the employee. Now if I use when then return, the actual method will be executed. If you see here, see, it is got printed that we have already added in the actual method, it got printed, right? So that is the advantage of this do return. So do return whatever the explanation of above. At the spy to spice all allow calling real method unless explicitly mock when do return instead of when. This would still execute the real method whenever we'll be executing this, but if we start using do return startingly, it will bypass the real execution, ensuring the mock response is returned. So when to use the do return? When we are mocking the spice to avoid the executing the real method, when we are mocking the final method, when mocking method that should not be called. So this is a conclusion. Use when return, then return for normal mock object. Use do return dot when for spice or method that should not execute. Helps prevent a unnecessary method execution in the test. So I'll give the link of this in the description. If you like this video, you can hit like button and subscribe to our channel.